Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about the transpiration. So, transpiration, we know that the loss of water from the aerial parts of the plant. Transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor. So, what is the transpiration? The loss of water in the form of water vapor. The loss of water in the form of water vapor through aerial parts of the plant. So here water is evaporated, or water is evaporated through the aerial parts. So the water transpiration takes place in plants. The transpiration takes place mostly through the stomata. A special structure is there, stomata. A tiny pores are present in the leaves are called as stomata. Not only stomata, some amount of transpiration takes place through the cuticle also. So the stomatal transpiration is transpiration takes place through the stomata, and cuticle also, cuticular transpiration. Stomatal transpiration means in this stomata helps for the transpiration. And lenticels which are present in the stems, not on the young stems. So these lenticels special structures also help in the transpiration. Okay, transpiration is loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plants. So it may takes place through the stomata. Sometimes cuticle is present. Cuticle also some amount of water lost from the cuticle, that is known as cuticular transpiration, and it may loss from the lenticels. So find what is the concept is that, so water is plant lost water in the form of water vapor, that is from the stomata, cuticle and lenticels. So these transpiration plays very important role in the SPAC. What is SPAC? SPAC means soil plant atmosphere continuum. So we know that the plant absorb the water from where? It takes water from the roots, from the soil. Through the roots, water and minerals are taken by the stem. And this stem, aerial parts, what they are doing? By the transpiration, they are releasing the water into the atmosphere. Again from the atmosphere, in the form of rain, again it reaches to the soil. So what is happening here? So plant is getting water from the soil, and again this water is evaporated through the stem into the atmosphere. Again from the atmosphere, in the form of rain, again it reaches into the soil. That is called SPAC, soil plant atmosphere continuum. So water is continuously moves from the soil to atmosphere, from the soil to plant, from the plant to atmosphere, then again with the rain it come back to the soil only. That is called SPAC, soil plant atmosphere continuum. So mostly this transpiration occurs through the stomata. Some stomata in plants Stomata is two types. Stomata is two types. Types of stomata. Some stomata opens during the daytime and close during the night. So the stomata which is opens in the daytime, which is actively opens in the daytime, that is the type of stomata is called photoactive stomata. What happens in this stomata? It is opens during the daytime, opens during daytime and close during night. This is called photoactive. The another type of stomata is called scotoactive stomata. Scotoactive stomata. This type of stomata we find in cacti, bryophyllum, and examples are cacti, bryophyllum. In these plants, stomata opens in night whereas closed in daytime, completely opposite to photoactive stomata. Here what we are talking about types of stomata, that is one is photoactive stomata, the stomata which opens during the daytime and closed during the night, that is called photoactive stomata, whereas some stomata closed during the daytime and open in the night. Okay, open in the night and closed in the day. Why they are in the cacti and bryophyllum? These are the xerophyte plants. So to stop the transpiration, minimize the transpiration. In the daytime there is a more temperature will be there, so that may be that may cause the more rate of transpiration. That is the reason they close their stomata during the daytime to reduce the transpiration. Here transpiration is loss of water through the aerial parts of the plant, that may be through the stomata, that is stomatal transpiration, that may be cuticular transpiration, that may be takes place through the lenticular transpiration. So this transpiration plays important role in the SPAC, soil plant atmosphere continuum, and means the water continuously move from the soil to plant to atmosphere, again it reaches to the soil in the form of rain. And types of stomata are two types: photoactive stomata, the stomata which opens during the daytime and close during the night, they are called photoactive stomata, and some stomata they close during the daytime and open during the night, they are called scotoactive stomata. So they are found in the cacti and bryophyllum like desert plants. Now coming to the structure, what is the structure of stomata and how it is. We know that the stomata is a small minute pore. In the case of dicots, stomata is bean shaped. Stomata, in case of dicot, stomata is bean shaped, and it is only found in the lower surface. It is present in the lower surface. Stomata is present in lower surface. And it is called as dorsiventral leaf. These leaves are called dorsiventral leaf. Okay. Whereas in the case of monocots, stomata is here bean shaped, here dumbbell shaped, and it is called isobilateral leaf. stomata present in both the sides. Equal number of stomata. Equal number of stomata is present. So this is about the types of leaves. In case of there is a difference in the structure of stomata in dicots and monocots. In the dicots, stomata is present in the lower epidermis. It is not in the upper epidermis, lower epidermis. If it is present in the upper epidermis, they will expose to the more temperature, and they ultimately the rate of transpiration is high. To minimize that, these are located in the lower epidermis. Stomata is a tiny pores. Tiny pores. Stomata. What is stomata? Stomata is a tiny pores, very small pores present in leaves. Present in the leaves. Okay, these are the minute pores present in the leaves. When you know the structure of it is in the dicots, it is stomata. Stomata is bean shaped. It is bean shaped structure. This is our stomata, and in this stomata, this is stoma or stomatal picture. So this stomata is in case of dicots. It is protected by two bean shaped structures. Epidermal cells are modified as God cells. These are known as God cells, and in these God cells they have the large vacuole. This is the large vacuole, and they have the chlorophyll. They have the large vacuole and chlorophyll is present. All these green structures are chlorophylls. These are the chlorophylls. So this is blue colored structure is large vacuole is present. Okay, so a minute pore is present in the leaves that is surrounded by a two modified epidermal cells. Modified epidermal cells. These epidermal cells, all the epidermal cells, they don't have the chlorophyll, but God cells will have the chlorophyll. That is very important. God cells will have the chlorophyll, and these are in the case of dicots, they are in the bean shape or kidney shape. So these cells are surrounded by another epidermal cells called as subsidiary cells. They are protected by another cells. This is God cell, and this is subsidiary cell. And in case of monocots, it is in dumbbell shape. This is monocot stomata, and it is surrounded by epidermal cells. This is monocot stomata. So again coming to this, so God cells, they have the they have bean shaped in dicots. So when we talk about their structure, God cells are very important in the maintaining the turgidity of the cells, and they are very important in the opening and closing of stomata. So these God cells towards the pore, they are more thickened. Thick layer is there compared to the outside. Outside there is a thick layer is present, and in these God cells there are radially arranged. Cellulose microfibers are present. Regarding the structure, cell wall towards pore is thicker than outside and radially arranged cellulose microfibrils. These two helps in the opening and closing and opening of stomata. They help in the opening and closing of stomata. Okay, this is about the structure of stomata. So generally when stomata, when it is opened, so when it become turgid, so when it absorb the water from the subsidiary cells, ultimately what happens, it absorb. So when it will become turgid means what? When any cell, if it absorb the water and that entered water will create the pressure on the walls, that is turgor pressure. Okay, so here to open the stomata, these guard cells actively means by expenditure the energy, they take the potassium ions. For that, hydrogen ions are sent into the subsidiary cells and potassium ions are actively pumped. Not only potassium ions, chlorine also, it is taken into the passively, enters into the guard cells. So when these ions enters into the cell, ultimately the osmotic pressure is going to be decreased, water potential is going to be increased. When osmotic potential is increased, ultimately water from the subsidiary cells, it moves into the inside guard cells. When water moves into the guard cells, it creates the pressure on the not inner side. Outside it creates the pressure because inside already they have the thick wall. So that is the reason they create the pressure towards the outside. It will bulge out. It will make a crescent shape like the moon, like this. So inside it is thicker and outside the thinner wall. It will become like this. This is the crescent shape. So it will enter the water when they become turgid, that is endoosmosis, they are going to be opened. When they lost the water, ultimately due to exoosmosis, it is going to be closed. So what is the main function of the stomata? Main function of the stomata is gases exchange only. That is oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, this is about the stomata structure. Stomata is minute pores. They are present in the leaves. They may be presented in the lower epidermis, in isobilateral rift. They are equally distributed and they are protected by the guard cells. Guard cells are the only cells which have the chlorophyll. So these will regulate the opening and closing of stomata. And towards the pore, inside the pore, they have the thick wall compared to the outside. So and there are radially arranged microfibrils are present in the pore that helps for the when they bulge out for the opening. So they easily bulge out outside. So they are arranged radially rather than the longitudinally. This is the structure of stomata and it is meant for the gas exchange. And transpiration. What is the use of transpiration in plants? What is the use? Is there any use of transpiration in the transpiration and benefits of transpiration. So next, benefits. Benefits of transpiration. So it creates the transpiration pull, so which helped for the absorption of ions and water. First one is most important, transpiration creates transpiration pull. Transpiration pull which helped for the taking of water. What is transpiration pull? So when stomata lost the water, ultimately it takes the water from the mesophyll cells. Those mesophyll cells, they suck the water from the xylem vessels. Like that, continuously water is going to be sucked or pulled from the neighboring cells. That suction is created towards the downwards. That suction helps for the taking of water upwards. So that is the main force, how the plants take the water upwards, how the water is going to be sended towards the upside. That is the main reason is to create for that is when transpiration pull is created, suction pressure is created, it happens, plant take the water towards upwards. So one of the most important benefit is transpiration creates the transpiration pull. And second, it is supplies the water for photosynthesis. Water supplies for photosynthesis. Whatever the photosynthesis, without water there is no photosynthesis. We write down the equation 6CO2 plus 6H2O. Okay, water is essential for the photosynthesis. And also it cool the leaf surface. It cool the leaf surface. Cool the leaf surface. Leaf surface, it is cooled down up to 10 to 15 degrees centigrades. And next, it transports the minerals from the soil to all the plants. Transports minerals from soil to plant parts, soil to plant parts. And it maintain the shape of the cells by making them turgid. It maintain the shape and structure of the plant. Maintain shape and structure of cells. Maintain the shape and structure of cells by keeping them turgid. Simple thing, when they absorb the water, ultimately the cell become turgid. So these are the benefits of transpiration. So one is, it is helped for the create the transpiration pull, and it supplies the water for the photosynthesis, and it cool the leaf surface, and it supplies the minerals for the plant, and it also helps for the maintaining the shape of the cells by making them turgid. So apart from this, when the temperature is high, if the continuation transpiration takes place, there is a decreasing in the photosynthesis rate may takes place. If all the water is evaporated during the summer time, we may observe that. So due to high temperature, water is going to be continuously transpirated to make the plant bodies cool. So water transpiration is high at that time. So the plants may wilt temporarily. That may cause for the permanent wilting also. Means temporarily the leaves fall down in the summer. Leaves may fall down. So that is called wilting. So if the transpiration is more, if the transpiration high, so ultimately the wilting may takes place. Wilting and rate of photosynthesis is also decreased. Photosynthesis also decreased because water is evaporated. When water is not available, the rate of photosynthesis is also decreased. So that is the reason we called it as a photosynthesis is a advantage as well as the disadvantages. So one of the disadvantages, photosynthesis rate is decreased, and we call the transpiration is a necessary evil. So it is called as necessary evil. It must be occur in the plants. Okay, this is about transpiration, and this transpiration also controlled by wind speed. If the wind speed is more, ultimately the water is evaporated quickly, ultimately rate of transpiration is high. If the temperature is increased, ultimately the transpiration is also increased. So these are the factors which are going to control the transpiration. So this is about transpiration. Thank you, children.